So I think on the right, they tend to have a much greater belief that life is fair, or at least that people get what they deserve, and they have a hard time seeing the disadvantages that many people come to the table with, and they think that as long as you eliminate overt obstacles, it's a fair starting line. So I think the right tends to be a little. They tend to not see that as well as they should, and there's, they believe in merit and meritocracy, and I do too. But if you believe that life is a meritocracy and therefore the people on the bottom deserve it, sometimes that's true, but often it's not. So that's the main blind spot, I would say, for the right. For the left, I think I say explicitly in The Righteous Mind that their blind spot is moral capital. To have a functioning society, you need order, traditions, norms. You need punishment. You must have punishment. When people are breaking the law, when people are hurting others, they must be punished, put in jail. You need stories, even if they're not true. And the left tends to be kind of a solvent. So if you think about all the things that bind a country together, traditionally it's blood, common language, common enemy, common stories. That's how humans create nations. And the left generally says, let's not do any of that. All the stories are bad. All the founding fathers are bad. Let's eliminate these holidays. We need more diversity and no assimilation. Assimilation is cultural genocide. So let's be sure that we have lots of people coming in, and let's not incorporate them into our common culture, because that would be like killing their culture. And I think this is extremely bad for society. There are times when a society needs to loosen up, and the left is good at that, and the 50s and 60s, I think, was one of those times. But now is a time when we don't need to loosen up and come apart. We're coming apart. We are falling apart. We are on the road to self-destruction. We really need to find ways to come together, to cohere more. So I think the left has a great deal of difficulty seeing that, and that's why Donald Trump can win. He won. He didn't get the majority vote, but someone like Donald Trump, who you would think could never get anywhere near the White House and has no virtues as far as I can tell. I mean, a man like that, because most people are so sick of what the left is doing to their schools, to our common culture. So the right in every era, I learned this from Jerry Mueller, the right in every era is always a reaction to the excesses of the left. And since the left has had some real excesses around identity since the new left of the 1960s through 90s, the right is a reaction to that. And I think that's why Donald Trump is likely to be our next president.